TTRPGs are notoriously autistic gathering spaces, but there are some things I've come across in my 6 or 7 years of playing that actively make my symptoms worse. Number one being scheduling. I understand that we are all adults and everyone is busy. However, I do not understand why people don't get that if there's a long-standing appointment on the same day every week, every 2 weeks, every month, and you schedule something for that time, you need to make people aware of it in advance. It's not a guideline, it's not a suggestion, it is a recurring event that we expect to happen at that date and time. And this usually ends up with me gearing up for an entire week for a very long and complicated social interaction in which I need to play a character that is not myself. And then like an hour before the session is supposed to take place, I find out that it's not happening and I immediately deflate. I end up having to replace that time with solo D&D or another solo format TTRPG so that I feel like I was still able to play even if it wasn't the session I was expecting. And a lot of times that results in me getting the plots confused. Speaking of getting games confused, nobody is willing to teach me any other systems besides D&D. This is not me trying to once again comment on how everybody gravitates towards D&D and all the other TTRPG systems are left in the dust, even though there are systems that are better at things that D&D cannot do. What really gets me is that people apparently want others to expand outside of D&D, but when you actually approach them to teach you as a beginner, they're resentful. I have been trying to find a Call of Cthulhu game that is beginner friendly for months, and I thought I found one, so I tried to submit a form to see if I would be a good fit, and when I put an idea for a character, I got feedback that the character would not fit the Call of Cthulhu universe, even though I was not particularly wed to that idea. And that ended up being the defining factor that resulted in me not being added to this group, even though I was flexible and willing to learn. And I have tried every YouTube tutorial I can think of. The truth of the matter is, it's so much easier to learn when you are playing it yourself, as we all know. Autistic people are bottom-up thinkers. There are a lot of instances where it seems like it's taking me longer to understand until I fully learn the system in and out. And that doesn't mean that the autistic person isn't listening, but they're still confused and haven't had enough clarification to understand. When you put those two issues together, you usually think, okay, maybe I can fix this by adding more game groups. Nope, your social battery is way too small to be doing multiple, multi-hour roleplay sessions in 1 week. It's just not possible, babe. And my own limitations are really annoying because I would love to play more than I actually do. The actual social interactions in the game feel very fluid and natural, but the second you get out of that context of roleplay, it becomes immediately overwhelming and confusing. And I do wish that more players and GMs in general would have more patience for these traits. Anyway, if anyone knows of a Call of Cthulhu beginner group that doesn't cost $25 a week because I am poor, let me know.